How are you looking at the entire developments, even as the northeastern state move towards normalcy? Is it going to be a case of a fragile truce here, a fragile peace?
Good morning, Kabir. Thank you very much at the very outset. I must tell you that a lot has happened, and there is definitely a semblance of peace as of now when we are talking. Because what it was about 5 days back to what it is today, there's a tremendous amount of difference. And the difference is primarily because of the deployment of the army, the Assam rifles over there, the movement of the tremendous amount of troops moving by the center, the Article 355 being, being implemented with a view to
Right.
ensure that the law and order remains with the center. So now that law and order is with the center, obviously things have improved. And we hope and we sincerely hope that things will return to normalcy, because obviously this is some historical baggage which requires sort of to be tackled in a very, very, I would say, in a very friendly manner. What happens is, over a period of time, all said and done, even if you see these census of, the British time census going right up to 1901 and subsequently, and we all know that 1949 Manipur joined the union, and they were being called the Hindu tribes. The word scheduled tribes or things of those kinds subsequent. But in this census, the population of Manipur was called the Hindu tribe. As a result of which, you find that over a period of time, after joining the Union of India in 1949, the scheduled tribe status deprived the Metis over there. And now, even if you go, the problem is the Metis and the non-Metis. We shouldn't be calling them, all are tribals, all belong to the same place. But after independence, the Metis became the Hindu-dominated people of
Right.
Manipur, being probably they feeling that they've been deprived of certain cultural rights, land rights, the kind of reservations that followed, the kind of tax benefits that others got, they were being deprived of. And then I personally would say the 2015 bill that got introduced, that set in motion. So it is not something
A
which
lot
has
of
just
factors,
occurred overnight.
certainly,
Yeah.
Lieutenant General, a lot of factors at play. But I mean, we were just looking at those visuals as well, and we'll play them again for the sake of our viewers. Traffic has resumed in the northeastern state. Shops have opened up. You can see people, go across shutters and actually buy stuff. Those visuals straight from an Armageddon-like setup. Now people are actually thronging the streets again. So in terms of the fight back to normalcy, what kind of challenges do you think the Assam Rifles or the Indian Army is now going to face?
See, ultimately, what happens is that normalcy is required. It's an area which is, Imphal is the only place which is being dominated or has a population which is huge population, 60%, or I would say even much more than that, which is occupying the area of Imphal. Normalcy is an absolute essential thing, because how else would people sort of survive over there? And therefore, the visuals that you're showing are definitely indicative. Very nice to see people have again got back to shopping. That's very important. The petrol pumps have opened, so you find people are drawing petrol, people are drawing all the things. You can see the vehicles on road. So this is an indication that yes, normalcy has returned. It will take time. Obviously, people are hurt on both sides. It will take time. But notwithstanding all that, with the center having taken over the law and order, the things opening up, the kind of, you see the patrolling, not just on the ground, but even from the air. You have the helicopters flying there, you have the UAVs there, the drones over there flying to ensure that nothing is there. But unfortunately, a lot of weapons got looted from the police stations. Those are now being recovered. A sizable number have returned back to the courts of the police. This thing. So things will take. It will take time. It is not that it will happen overnight, but definitely, I would say what it was 5 days back to what it is today. Tremendous amount of change. Just see the kind of civilians who have
Right.
been evacuated to places, safer places, by the army, by the Assam Rifles,
Right.
by the security forces which have been pumped in over there with a view to ensure their safety. They're being provided the basic necessities. The weather is also not playing. It's also raining. It's very difficult. The entire thing is a forested area. So there are a lot of things happening. But yes, Kabir, I'll agree with you that things are returning to normalcy, and it is definitely not a fragile piece. It will hold on, because after all of them have lived together. They all understand each other. They love each other. It looks like one. For outsiders, it may be different, but inside there's a lot of goodwill that exists between all the communities over there. I'm sure the things are falling in place, and hopefully, uh, you will see within about a week's time, things will return to normalcy. Yeah, Kabir.
Absolutely. Hasina Kharbihh also joins us, founder Impulse NGO Network. Hasina, we're talking about how Manipur is trying to limp back towards normalcy, but from relief camps to the boots on the ground, what's your initial thought on what it was 5 days back? Lieutenant General Kulkarni here of the opinion that it is tremendous in terms of how the situation has been curtailed, and it is certainly now direction towards peace.
So when we're looking at the displacement which is internally at the moment, I think the humanitarian relief will need to be taken into consideration, that the government has to also provide some support, because we are getting a lot of requirement of relief that is asked from the Manipur internally displaced people at the moment. But at the moment, I would say that if only civil society organizations are going to come on board, it is not going to be very enough at the moment, because of the fact that 23,000 are internally displaced in 5 to 6 locations. And I think we have just heard the Army General saying that there is normalcy, but then there can be fraction of people who might just come because of the hunger, because of the requirement of necessities, that there'll be a breakdown again. So I think they need to take that into consideration, because most of the women and girls who are put in the camps at the moment also required certain requirements which are not available. So I think that's a very important element when there's any internally displaced situation at any given time. Manipur has always been a fragile state over the years. And I think this situation at this time that broke down in the context of this rally that took off, I'm so glad to see that women came together to protect. I mean, it's not about communities or indigenous population, but they have been coming together to support and to reduce the violence that is there. So I think what we need here is, I would say, a coordination between the state government at the moment with the civil society to engage in the distribution of the relief. Because if they are in 5 to 6 locations at the moment, relief might not be adequately enough, because most of the suppliers are unable to take the trucks, because they are also facing a lot of trouble that they don't want that there might be any kind of attack on the trucks, and then if the food doesn't reach on the relief camp, then you'll see all this commotion happening in and out.